"Do either of you know anyone who lives on Irishtown Road?" he asked as their truck roared through an intersection. Brody glanced at Leon in his rearview mirror. "Isn't the Dienner farm on that road?" "Yeah, I think so." Leon yawned yet again. Jamie twisted around and glared at him. "You need to wake up. You can't be half asleep while we're fighting a fire." "I realize that." Leon's eyes narrowed to slits as he nearly spat the words. "You don't need to keep lecturing me. You're not my dad." Jamie bit back the bitter response that threatened to leap from his lips. Leon and Jamie met 9 years earlier when they both began training to be volunteer firefighters. They were 16 and became fast friends. But then they were assigned to different volunteer stations. They'd reconnected a month ago when Jamie was reassigned to Station 5. Leon's whining was irritating, but Jamie considered him a good firefighter and a loyal friend. "All right, you two," Brody yelled over the blare of the siren. "It's time to get your heads in the game. This is a barn fire, and thanks to the dry summer we're having, it's going to be brutal if it spreads. Quit your bickering and concentrate on safety." "Yes, Chief," Leon grumbled. "I hope Noah meets us there." Jamie's thoughts turned to his best friend since first grade. "His farm isn't far from Irishtown Road, and we're going to need his help." "I imagine Noah is already on his way if he heard the call on his radio. You're right. We're going to need all the help we can get." Brody steered the engine onto Irishtown Road. Jamie momentarily thought back to a conversation he'd had with his sister Cindy just a few days earlier. She was reflecting on recently seeing Jamie, Noah, and Leon together.
"You know, you three all look a lot alike. You're not only similar in height and have dark brown hair, but Noah's clean-shaven, too."
The bishop in their district had made an exception to the rule about married men wearing beards, a requirement because of the custom-fit face masks the firemen wore.
"If you didn't have blue eyes to their brown eyes," she'd said, "you'd practically look like triplets. You're even all 25.
Jamie had laughed at that. But now the scent of burning wood filled the cab of the truck, bringing him back to the present. Brody pulled into a rock driveway and stopped alongside a 2-story farmhouse, pointing the fire engine's headlights toward a large red barn where dark gray smoke billowed. So far, fire licked up the walls on only the right side of the structure. Good. They might still have time to rescue any animals in there before the entire barn was engulfed in angry flames. Jamie leaped from the engine. The hot, humid June air clung to the back of his neck as acrid smoke threatened his lungs. A light mist of much-needed rain fell as thunder rumbled above him. Jamie glanced toward the house's back porch and spotted a man with a lantern. 2 women dressed in robes and with scarves on their heads stood with him. He grabbed his respirator and helmet and sprinted toward them. He could hear Leon right behind him. As he and Leon closed in on the porch, Jamie could tell the family was Amish. The man looked to be in his mid-50s, and the woman on his right seemed about the same age. She was most likely his wife. "Do we need to save any animals?" Jamie skipped the pleasantries as he called to them. "Yeah," the man pointed toward the barn. 2 horses. Willie, Marilyn, Eva. As Leon nodded to each one, they nodded in return. Jamie blinked. How did Leon know this family? Maybe they were the Dieners Brody and Leon thought they remembered living on this road. "Where are the horse stalls located?" Jamie asked. "On the far left side of the barn. There's a separate door there." "Good, we still have time to get them."
"Where is Nathan?"
Jamie heard a thread of worry in the older woman's voice. Leon had called her Marilyn.
"You said Nathan went to the phone shanty,"
the younger woman named Eva responded. Jamie followed her eyes as she turned toward the shed at the top of the driveway.
"He saw the lightning hit the barn and ran to call for help. Didn't Kayla follow him?"
"But where are they both now?" Marilyn's voice rose, and she turned to Willie. "Do you think Nathan would go into the barn to save the horses?" Then to Jamie and Leon, she said, "Would you please see if our son is in there? He's only 14. "Yeah," Jamie turned to Leon.